says sketch the graph, and then it asks about domain and range. So once again, I'm going to draw two graphs. On my first graph in green, I'm just going to graph x minus 3. And then on the second graph in blue, I'll graph the reciprocal. While graphing y equals x minus 3, that's y equals mx plus b. You're probably getting really good at graphing y equals mx plus b by now. You have a y-intercept of minus 3, so that would be 0 minus 3. And a slope of 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Really important. I'm going to label this. That x-intercept is going to be really important. Then up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. I could label some of these other points as well. And this is my straight line. So we would have 5, 2, 4, 1, 2, negative 1. Really easy to label points on that graph. Now, to graph our reciprocal, I'm going to start with the asymptotes. So, wherever we have a y value of 0 in the original one, now can you see that that 3 becomes a non-permissible value in the blue one, right? And sometimes it's not bad to write out x can't equal 3. That's how we write a non-permissible value. That shows up as an asymptote. So take out your red pen. And an asymptote is just an equal sign. Non-permissible value, you put a line through there, say it can't equal 3, when we're talking about a non-permissible value. When we write the equation of the asymptote, it's x equals 3 because it's an equation. That's the equation of that vertical line. And every line gets bigger and bigger y values, so every reciprocal of a line will always have y equals 0. I guess the only line that doesn't go bigger and bigger would be a horizontal line. That makes sense. If you had a horizontal line that was always 7, your reciprocal graph would be always 1 over 7. Be another horizontal line. That would be like the only case that you could have a line that doesn't have an asymptote at y equals 0. Next, I have 5, 2. That point's going to be easy to label. It's 5, 1 over 2. I have 4, 1. That point is easy to label. It's going to stay 4, 1 over 1, which stays 4, 1. I have 2, negative 1. Well, that's going to stay 2, negative 1. And I have 0, negative 3. That's going to become 0, 1 over negative 3. So all I'm doing is taking my original y values, and the only difference is now I have 1 over what I had before, so my y values change to 1 over what they were before. And once I have a little bit overkill here. I didn't need all of these points, but I can go through those points and closer to my asymptotes. Okay. This unit's, math is particular. You're learning that math is pretty particular, that they don't like certain things. They want you to be as accurate as possible. If, I'm going to draw some mistakes. If you were to do this instead, you lose a half a mark. See how I got closer and then at the end I went farther away? They don't like that. Or accidentally go through it. Oops. Oh, I was just being sloppy. No problem. You just lose a half a mark. If you want to be sloppy, you can lose half marks. They're really particular that you're getting closer to the asymptote but not touching it. Okay? This also loses a half a mark. Ooh, I don't want to touch it. Yeah, but you're not really getting closer to it. You're staying like 1 away. That also would lose a half a mark. So if you go through your asymptote, you lose a half a mark. If you get closer to your asymptote and then decide to go farther away just because you got lazy at the end, you lose a half a mark. And if you just don't get closer to it. So it's really particular that way. They want you to take your time, draw it nicely, closer and closer to those asymptotes. Okay, questions for number 2? Oh, it asks for domain and range. Now, to write the domain. The simplest way to write the domain is that you say the non-permissible value, x can't equal 3, and sometimes that's enough, like on the exam they would accept that as enough, but you can also say x can be everything else, just x can't equal 3. Interval notation is trickier, because you would start at negative infinity for your x values and go up to 3, but you can't include it. So you put a round bracket. Then you start again on the other side of 3 and go on forever in that direction. And when we have two sections, we put a little U sign in between them. So that's interval notation. And same thing, we can do our range. Easiest way, the only y value that's not allowed on this graph is 0. So you could just write this. Right? That would be enough. If you wanted to also say y is everything else, that's fine. Or you could go from negative infinity to 0, not include 0, start again at 0, and go up to positive infinity in interval notation. Okay? People like that just writing the non-permissible value seems easier, right? But if it was a multiple choice question and they gave you the interval notation, you need to know how to understand both of them. All right, questions for practice on this one? Circle 6 and 7.